We're here on site right now. We're at our large factory fire loss. And what we're going to do is we're going to be going over our new gas lines that we're going to be running for our low pressure and high pressure systems. So this building has new gas for an actual whole new building that needs to be built. And then we're going to have a low gas system, which will go to the new building, which isn't built yet. And then we're going to have a low gas or our low pressure system going to the existing building. But we're going to go over how these manifolds are going to work, because we're going to have this valve right here is going to feed two new risers and two new regulators. Those both will be low pressure, and then we're going to have our high pressure stay the same. So that's high pressure 25 psi gas right there. We got our trailer with all of our equipment, rental power, and obviously this is a large loss, fire loss. So let's go inside, go over what's going on. I'm going to go over everything with Jack and Steve so we can kind of keep the ball rolling with everything. Got our heaters here, over here, heating everything. What we're doing right here is we're lining everything up. Everything up for our new low pressure gas, which will go to the new building right next to our water line over here as well. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to be going over the new layout and how the low pressure gas is going to tie in to the new pressure gas and all that stuff. So we got our stuff set up over here. There's a little bit of low light over here, but we got our lifts. And this is kind of like our station over here. I know it's kind of dark, but let's see if this light tower actually turns on. Turn that thing on. Turn that thing on, you know? There you go. Show what's going on over here. All right. So basically what we got, and then we got our knock box over here. So this is some. Raise the lift. Raise it up. We have light. Now you can see all the stuff you're grabbing. No wonder you keep on grabbing the wrong shit.
What did I grab something wrong?
Huh? Our tools and equipment. Now I'm going to go over everything with Jack and Steve so we can make sure we're dialed in. How we're going to run these low pressure, the two low pressure lines that we're going to run. We got our brand new heater out. We got a Vantage too. This is a 160,000 BTU radiant heater that we got installed right here. And then we got our Sunfire heaters for temporary heat in the meantime. What do we got?
Just trying to see if we're going to touch this offset.
So I would say if we miss that offset, so right now we're trying to figure everything out because we're going to have two gas lines. We have our existing gas line right there, and then we're going to have our new gas line that's going to go up and over. But if this one misses that, we go straight up, right? Or just continue past and then continue that one all the way across, right?
Yep.
Continue this one all the way across, and I'll put this down for now. Trying to get more we'll continue this one all the way across. And with this one that comes down, it'll come out a little bit farther. So we'll have two more lines coming straight out. This one is go up, and over. This one just continue all the way straight across. Let's get them all those two right over there, and then we'll figure out how to time it. Most likely it's going to be one and then the other. So once you get them over there, that's going to be a couple days before we get that over there. So you can see right here, we're trying to do more long-form content for the YouTube channel. Because the longer the videos that people watch in the watch hours, the more watch hours, the more better ways to generate income. So right now we got a lot of followers on YouTube. It's like 6,000. I didn't even know. So we got our gas coming up through, and now we'll have that's our high pressure, and then we'll have 2 more low pressure lines coming outside. One for the existing building, which we already ran, and then one for the new building. So yeah, I would say that's it. Over there, and then probably 90, and then get the 8 to 12 inches off of that one wherever the manifold is. I almost want to get them over there, and then throw the manifold outside, but then I'll tell them where I'm at. We'll fill that manifold, bring our risers up on the outside wall, and then go. Sound good? Yeah, I just drove through and punched through, and then just slide this pipe all the way out. You know? See the laser line on the pipe all the way across. And we got these nice little sunflower heaters. This really help out because it's like 32 degrees outside right now. So it's nice to have these heaters. But once we get that gas ran outside and over, then what we'll be able to do is we'll tie it to our manifold outside, and then we can fire up the gas and get these new Vantage heaters that we hung. See these new heaters that we hung? We get these new heaters up and running. Get some heat over here, supplemental heat. And then we got our second heater that we ran right here as well. Second heater right here that we ran as well. So we got to intake and exhaust those heaters. So there's got to be intake for the burner and then the exhaust. The exhaust, yeah, the exhaust is all the way down on the end. Yeah. So we got to bring in fresh air to the burner box, and then we got to exhaust and vent out. So we got the roofers on site today at our 11 o'clock meeting, talking to him about where these penetrations, roof penetrations are going to be. Just continue to put up pipe. We also got the quote. Did you see the quote from the Ballards? Yeah. Okay. So we gotta protect this because we got the electrical room in here. So we want to make sure that this is all protected from tow motors and everything like that. So the tow motor doesn't back in there, hit the back of an electrical box, and then they don't have power for a while. So we also need to do the same thing. We need to build Ballards for this area as well. Build Ballards for this. So we're going to build these across, make those. And then we got our fire suppression system. Right now we got heat trace all over it, you can see. And the heat trace to keep it warm so it doesn't freeze. Especially this, I think Thursday, it's going to get really cold here in Cleveland. But yeah, that's our plan. So today's Monday, we just had our meeting. And also you can see this is all our heat trace going over our 4-inch domestic. And this 4-inch domestic used to be fed from that side of the building. But right now what we got is we got a temporary feed line because that side of the building is compromised and demoed because of the fire loss. We have a temporary feed line which we ran right here. So we ran a temporary 2-inch hex line to feed the fire suppression system, and that back feeds comes up and over. See right here, and that feeds the new domestic. We're thinking that our new riser for our water line will come up somewhere over here, but we haven't figured that out yet. So it's like a moving organism. You just gotta adapt and change as things go, and you get more information so you can finish the job but trying to do that as much as possible without running piping or plumbing, that you contradict yourself, you know. It's like, you know, it's like an as-built. Every day things change because it's existing production, and then we got, you know, different trades that need things moved or what. And also, we're not really too 100% sure what the new building layouts will be. But, you know, Monday, get the guys rolling. We got to get these gas lines going. So we can hook up these heaters, you know, so that we can start eliminating some of these temporary heaters. But, you know, we got water and we got people, you know, working in here, so we got to get this heat back up and running. We also got some of the tarps over for the masons. The masons tarped a lot of these areas up, you know, so, but you can see we got open areas, you know, where that cold is coming in. And then we got an existing fire drop right here. We just ran this, so if there's a fire, because there's no fire suppression system and the fire extinguishers and fire hydrants are pretty far away. So what we did is we piped in, we'll hook these up obviously, piped in some fire drops so we could turn the water on and we could fight a fire in case something happens, you know. And we try to strategize and put those in certain areas of the building, you know, that protected from fire, you know, especially since the building already caught on fire. But yeah, I can show you some of the areas that are compromised from the building and what it looks like now that the building's kind of being demoed and all sorts of, you know, so we got existing masonry that had to get rebuilt. This outside wall used to be a warehouse. Now it's completely open. Now we have this used to be the inside of the building, but now it's all demoed because this part of the building was compromised. You see a lot of brickwork and masonry needs to be done, so then we can, you know, do some finish work to finish off the roof line and seal off the roof. But you can see throughout here, this used to be all enclosed, and now it's all open. It's got to be rebuilt. And this was the high bay area. Over here was the whole high bay area, and now it's just big open spot. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna end up keeping the floors, so that way we don't have to cut out all this existing concrete and re-pour it. Going from there. Try to close this thing. There we go. This is a Monday, just another Monday over here. I'll show you this area over here. You can see all the conduit. That's all cut out over here. So this is all the existing conduit. This whole area over here was on fire. So this whole area over here was on fire. So that's why a lot of that conduit's cut out. I'll show you this too. This used to open up to the big high bay over here. Holy shit. Boom. You can see the fire damage and everything like that. See the heat that got to everything. Let me get over here so the sun's out of the way. The heat that got to everything. Right over here. Big fire. Our machines, our temporary village where we're working out of. Big equipment for the demo. I'll pack it up. I'll show you guys where we're set up over on the other side. Over
here. I can close this.
Who built this door? There we go. All right. What are you doing up there?
We're moving these hangers over 10.5 inches off of this existing rod for our water line. This is going to be for our 4-inch low pressure gas line.
Whoa, that's out there.
You know, that gas line's 220 pounds, so it needs to be secured well.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Right now what Jack and Steve are doing is they are going over how to run the gas line, where it's going to be. What are you guys doing?
The hangers are a little bit back, so we're just pushing it back.
Where the ceilings at an angle.
That's good. Down there. Look at the ones where we're pushing. Look at this. Everything was. Why wasn't this mentioned to me?
All right, that's it for Monday. Look at all these temporary doors. But yeah, that's a big part of what we got going on. So like the first week we were here, we had to run a 4-inch high pressure gas main all the way to here. So that way we get this thing fired up, get this thing back up and running, which we did. So that way they can run all their furnaces and everything like that, keep the business running. And then we also ran a 2-inch domestic feed line, and this has got heat trace and all that, so this can, you know, deal with the elements. So that's why we have a plastic over it to cover and protect the insulation, which is around all the heat trace and everything like that. So we're gonna start showing, you know, what we had to do here to get this building in a stable position so the business operations can keep going and we don't have to interfere with shutdowns and stuff like that. We're pretty much there. Right now our only thing we're working on right now is just getting gas to the building, getting heat on. Look at Steve's van, huh? Dialed in. Look at it. Loaded, locked and loaded, huh? It's a thing of beauty over there. Beautiful. How do you like the van rack system?
I love it.
Love it?
Haven't got to use it much here, but
And then Steve's rocking our biggest sprinter. So he's got the big dog. He's got all the tools and equipment in there.
everybody says how huge this thing is.
He does all the heavy lifting. You know? So you got a big pro press in here, right?
Yep.
We got to get a big pro press in Tim's hand. I'm going to tell him that today.
He was supposed to have the one that we've been using here,
Okay.
but yeah, the only one we have. This one and the one that's here. Other than the new stuff, they're cool. That little guy.
Let's go. All right, bro. I'll see you later.
All right. Yep.
Kind of just drive around the job site, see what's going on here. So I can show you guys what's going on over here. On the job. Alright, so this is kind of where we're set up over here on this side of the building, but this isn't always where we worked at. And we'll do different videos throughout showing you guys, you know, the areas that we work. But here, I'll show you guys. This is one of the fire boxes and fire suppression, you know. So we basically have a fire box right here. And what we have going on here is we have, that's what feeds our temporary buildings. That's the water for the temporary buildings over there. So we got a hydrant that's covered up, and we got a heat trace, and we got that yellow line that's painted yellow. That is our water line that feeds those temporary offices. So that water line's ran in PEX-A, and then there's a heat trace line. It's insulated, and then we got bags over it to protect the insulation as well. So that's one way we get water to one area of the building, because now the existing domestic water is in an area that is demo. You know, so the riser came up in an area of the building that's demoed. Some of the remnants that they found from the building that they piled up. But that's our other fire hydrant box, and that box is has another hydrant in it, and that is a 2-inch feed, which feeds the fire suppression system that I showed you guys that was bagged up. Now that's the building right there. So I don't know if you can see it right now, but that was our riser. Our existing riser was right there. And that's, so what we did is we found our riser for our water. We came out away from the building and intercepted it and brought up a fire hydrant. And that fire hydrant's what feeds water. So that hydrant's energized, so we need to heat trace it and keep it warm as well. So keeping all that together over here. And then we got the Conex boxes and everything for storage and all that stuff over here. But yeah, that's a Monday for now. But what we'll do is we'll keep on updating you guys on you know, I got to show you guys you know, our job site storage, our office, our Conex box, you know, other areas of storage as well, all the tools and equipment that we've rented, and then you know, our fuel cells, all this stuff. Just everything that's keeping this job up and running. There's a lot going on here. Every day something changes. We're now on I think 112 days here working. Yeah, but I appreciate it, and talk to you guys soon.